Yes, welcome back. You're still watching Power Breakfast, the news review right here on Citizen TV with me, Fred Ndimuli. I'm still in studio with Fatuma Gedi, woman representative of Wajir County from the Party for Development and Reform, which is Jubilee leaning. Gadhoni Mushomba, woman representative Kiambu County, and Rose Nyamunga, nominated Senator ODM. Let's move on to another headline, which is a big talking point on Twitter. I've seen quite a number of tweets, many of them with very little sympathy for members of the National Assembly, unfortunately. But the story is highlighted on the front page of the Daily Nation. Phone scams target MPs. The main story is on page 3 of the Daily Nation. MPs reveal their targets of nude photos and phone scams. This was discussed at length yesterday afternoon inside the National Assembly. Members of Parliament yesterday narrated how they have been cyber-bullied by people seeking funds and others sending them nude photos. Majority Leader Aiden Duale and Kemenini MP Chris Wamalo told the National Assembly how a woman, whom they did not name, has made them afraid of using their phones while with their colleagues or family members, as she has been sending them her nude photos. Apparently, it's not just the male MPs, female MPs as well complain that they are being seduced online. We do have an all-female panel made up of members of the National Assembly and the Senate today. Is this problem being experienced at the Senate level?
To be honest, if it is being experienced at a Senate level, it has not come to the know of members.
Yes.
I, for one, have not experienced it. So I think that the main problem here is, in my view, is the freedom that we have in things like the social media. Yes. I think we are giving in a lot. We are giving in a lot. There should be, much as we are not supposed to gag the media and all these things, but it's very important that we don't allow too much freedom, because too much freedom is what is causing all these things.
Yes.
In the Senate, we have not experienced. If we have at individual level and people maybe they were feeling shy to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe they thought, what would people think about? But I've been seeing it a lot at the National Assembly.
You've been a member of the National Assembly?
Yes, I was in the National Assembly, because
was the
now
problem still there back then?
Back then it wasn't there, and if it was there, it was not in the know. I mean, nobody raised it. But for the last few months, it has been really on our phones, social media, complaints here and there. It has been going on. I don't understand what is behind it all, whether people want to make money or they've got reasons maybe to intimidate you here and there and solicit for some funds. I don't know what it is. The reason I may not understand. But it is a bad thing, and I think it's too much freedom. Yes. Yeah, some of these things, I believe they must be controlled, because they get to everybody. We get to our children. They get to, if we open ourselves to the media and to be dictated by the media, I don't think it's the right way to go.
Yes.
Yeah. It
must be a very serious thing, because the amount of time dedicated to that debate yesterday was quite substantive. And the MPs have summoned the Inspector General of Police, Joseph Poinet, Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, Director General of the CAK, Francis Wangusi. It is a serious matter. When you actually summon all this senior...
It's a very serious matter, with a lot of gravy effects.
Because it's being treated as a joke on social media right now.
No, it is not a joke. It is not a joke, because you cannot joke around with my marriage. You cannot joke around with a family unit. And that is exactly what is MPs are really complaining about. Because once you receive photos of a nude man on your phone, surely, and probably maybe this phone is being used by your child, and your husband is also, using the phone. It doesn't look good for our image. We are honorable members, and I think we need to be treated as such, and therefore we need to be protected. And the reason why the members were really taking a lot of time yesterday in the chambers to discuss this matter is because it has already been reported. I personally joined the other women who went to complain about the harassment.
Have you been harassed yourself?
Personally, I haven't. But I stood in solidarity with the women who are harassed. And we went to the parliamentary police station to report 2 weeks ago. Nothing has been done. The gentleman who's been harassing the female members has not been arrested yet.
Someone who's
and actually the police were telling us we can track him down in Machakos. We can see he's in Machakos. But 2 weeks? And this guy is sending a message every other minute. The same message he sends me, he sends Muheshimiwa, he sends another Muheshimiwa. And then he follows up with the discussions. And in fact, we are even shocked that the same gentleman has been doing that even in the 11th Parliament.
No.
Yeah, there's some members who have confessed that the same gentleman who has been
someone has been doing this over time.
Exactly, and it's a gentleman who is known. So the reason why this was causing a lot of jitter is because could there be a collusion between the security agency and such kind of guys? Why is he not being arrested? And in fact, this is a pile-up, because even during campaigns, like for me, I had a lot of issues with people sending messages and telling you, oh, we know where you live, we are coming for you. And then when you go to the police and report, they tell you this guy is in committee. Does it mean that when the guy is in committee, is free and is allowed to harass you?
Yes.
When you report and they tell you this guy is in committee, they don't do anything else. Does it mean that while you're in committee, you have the authority under the Constitution to harass anybody?
Yes.
I think that is why people were really getting jittery, and we saw a lot of laxity from the security agencies, and that is why actually the Speaker had to take that direction.
Do you think members of the National Assembly are a soft target for scammers, people seeking to take advantage of you, probably get money from you?
Yeah, we are a soft target. And
have you been harassed by this individual?
Of course.
So you're one of the victims?
I'm a victim. I'm one of the victims. And not only this person is writing messages to all female MPs and seducing them, but there are other elements who are out there to tarnish people's name and bully people and abuse people in social media. And the kind of things they talk about honorable members, it is so disgusting. We have a case, I think it is before the AG now, a woman member of parliament who's been abused by a colleague, a bodyguard of her colleague. They come from the same county.
A bodyguard
of another member of parliament.
Yes.
On a social media. And he put his photo is there. And you know the person. And you know the honorable member. This person, you cannot arrest this person. And the kind of things he talks about that member of parliament, you can't imagine. So we have many cases. If in this country...
And what medium are they using? Because you said you just received...
They're using social media. They're using WhatsApp, Facebook, they're using Twitter, they're using social platform like WhatsApp groups. They have these groups that they now talk about the member of parliament. It went viral. And it's not only her, we have very many, myself included. So now there is a bill, a cybercrime bill that will come. And if it comes, we want to pass it, so that these people have to have decency and have to.
If you say this thing has been happening for a while, we've seen quite a number of people, and a few, at least a year back, quite a number of people being taken to court for sending inappropriate messages, text messages to some people. How come we've not seen any member of parliament come out and actually go to court and say,
do you know how many times I have
this?
gone to the CID myself? The other day people posted that I have suffered from cancer. That is why I put on this weave, because I don't have hair. I mean, what kind of postings are those, honestly? Somebody just sits down and says, Gathoni has no hair. That is why she puts on her wig, because she has no hair. And somebody can go on and attacking your personality over allegations that are not even true. And how many times have you gone even to the CID?
And there's nothing that
there's nothing that happens. But I do understand that we have a limitation because of the kind of law that we've been using. And
that's why we have not allowed, it is up to you
we have not allowed sufficient space, and we have not equipped our cybercrime investigators adequately to deal with the cyber crimes. So that we must admit. So they investigate, and by the time they go to court, there are some loopholes. I am very excited because I'm a member of ICT committee in Parliament, and we are working tirelessly. In fact, I think for the last 2 months, every single day we are sitting to go through the computer and cybercrime bill. And we are hoping that it's going to be in the floor of the House, probably maybe in the next 1 week.
What do you think in that bill is so unique that will help us tackle cyber? Because cyberbullying is not just within the National Assembly.
There is cyberbullying, there is cyber molestation, there is computer data access, there is use of identities, people using your, like the way they are opening, and they are buying a new line, registering it with your an honorable member's name. and such that whenever I send a message, it reads my name. So all that is what we are taking care of using
it was
through the bill.
Criminalize such,
exactly.
Such ads.
And I'm very excited about the penalties that are coming up inside the through this bill. And I do not want to preempt before it goes to the floor of the House. But I can tell you, finally, we are going to have some soberness when it comes to the use of social media.
But what are some of the proposals? It would be nice to, because I don't feel like if you preempt, if you share some of the proposals in that bill, because I'm sure you must involve the public at some point.
We have already done public participation, and we have had public submissions from associations that are, you know, in contact with the computer applications. And that is what actually we are going through. So I do not want to preempt much, but I can tell you for sure, we must protect the presidency and give it the respect that it deserves. We've had people calling His Excellency the President all manner of names, using his images in all manner of ways. We must protect the presidency. We must protect the members of parliament. We must give space to every member of Kenyan Republic by protecting their rights and freedoms.
But there's a very thin line between protecting our social media and the way we communicate, and then infringing on the right to association, the right to expression, the right to the freedom of expression, rather. Don't you think that this bill could be criticized, this proposed bill could be criticized as seeking to curtail freedoms that Kenyans are enjoying as guaranteed by the Constitution?
Yeah, I have not, it is a National Assembly's bill. I may not have been in a position to
but just
see
listening
what
to the member here.
Yeah, what she's talking about. But in my view, I think that in Kenya we have all the bills, and we have enough bills. In Kenya, it's not about the number of bills or the policies that we can put on the table. In my view, it is about the sick, the disease that is ailing us. I think it is more of, I don't know, stemming.
It's a societal problem.
Yes, it is a society. Because why would I just wake up one day and look at this a member of parliament and how I want to bring them down? There is a cutthroat way of doing politics in Kenya, and the level of jealousy and everything that we see around us. It is more than the bills and more than the policies and the police and how. It's not about even the policeman. I think we should go to the root cause of our problems, which to me I think is social, and we've left it for a very long time. Some of these things should have been worked on as we move forward.
And for example, do you think that probably, I know women, men really complain as well, being targeted by a certain female as well, but do you think that as a woman member of the National Assembly, you are at a bigger disadvantage? Probably, it's the same question I asked you, softer target, but do you think that women are worst hit by this kind of problem?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Of course we are. Let me just give you an example. In this country, if you're a woman MP, as compared to your male counterpart or male colleague, if you do good things, or if somebody wants to abuse you, the only thing that person will talk about you is let me say, you will say that person is a prostitute. This person slept with this person did with this. If a member of parliament and a male did something, what name do they give that person?
Yes.
Because as we are called, we are prostitutes. What name do you give now?
They're heroes.
They're heroes. Yeah. So
it is easier
to target a female because of, I don't know why, but it is easier. Right now, 70% the people who are victims are women. If this person now, this lady who is sending nude photos to the male, there's a day I was seated in a table, we were half, and then all the men, you know, they got the message at the same time. Everyone was opening, it was the same lady. You know, she was sending nude to the same. So if it happens to us, even, you know, the society you come from, or even our husbands will not accept or will not actually take it lightly as compared to our male. So us, even in terms of society, our families, our children, women are soft targets.
Yes, because the kind of debate that came out yesterday, it bordered on actually being a joke. especially as the men
Exactly.
kept on saying what they experienced. So they kind of
trivialized
knew,
it.
yes, it almost trivialized the issue. Don't you think that even your male members of colleagues in Parliament are not really taking this issue seriously?
I think, you know, a man is created to be the man, and therefore anything demeaning the man in him would be taken not so seriously, so that it doesn't look like it has an impact of bruising the manhood. And therefore that's why the men were shy. In fact, if you follow how this whole issue came about, the women were the first ones to go and report. Yeah. The men did not report. I was even surprised that some of them have been getting these messages and photos for a long time, but they did not go to report. No, they were taking it seriously, but they are shy because, of course, you know, a man is not supposed to go and report to another man that is being harassed by a female. All right? And therefore, even the way they were discussing it in Parliament, they didn't want to look like they are victims, yet they are victims. And when Honorable Sabina came out with this issue, they all got excited. Now we have an opportunity to vent out. And that is why it took such a long time for members to debate about it. So I think, like she has rightly put it, women are target, of course. We are softer targets because, of course, people view us in the line of our sexuality, our womanhood, and our status in the society. And therefore, to attack a woman using social media, it becomes like the sweet story. It becomes sweeter to read about, you know, issues of sexuality concerning a woman. Yes. But there's something you asked, whether we are coming up with the computer and cybercrime bill to probably maybe gag bloggers and such like people from their freedom of expression. And I would want to tell you that the National Assembly is mandated to come up with the registration that is going to be embedded on our constitution. And therefore, we have the mandate and we have the liability to make sure that whatever we come up with in this bill is embedded on our constitution and respecting the fundamental rights of everybody. Okay. And therefore, that is what is guiding us as a guiding principle. And we can't wait. Even the members of Parliament can't wait for this cybercrime and computer bill coming up, because...
When should we expect it to come up for debate?
I think for debate, we should be presenting it to the National Assembly next week. Okay. In fact, we are late because it was ordered in the order paper yesterday. It was already listed in the order paper yesterday. Unfortunately, the committee had not been able to finalize on the report.
That cyber crimes bill will definitely have a lot of implications even outside the National Assembly. Exactly. Because the way we use social media and other mediums of communication will definitely impact on your life greatly.